B.A. Adekoya. I'm a legal practitioner. I practice here in Lagos, Nigeria, and this channel is about life, law, family, probate, entertainment, succession, and any other things that comes to mind that is worth sharing. If you're new here, and my previous videos I shared with you guys my immigration journey to the United States, and if you're in Nigeria and you're planning to immigrate from Nigeria to the United States, please go watch my previous videos. I shared my experience on what to do, what to expect, and the time frame in which you have to wait for your file to be processed by USCIS. I think I've shared that. So those are things that come under anything that is worth sharing. So this platform is about anything that is worth putting out there. So today I'll be sharing with you guys, step you need to take before filing for a divorce in Nigeria. Yes, as a family lawyer, I've seen so many people file for a divorce, without having a full knowledge of what to prepare for, what they are doing, and what to experience. Yes, if you're at that stage in your marriage, or you're in that situation in your marriage where you believe and you can beat your chest that divorce is inevitable, this video is what you need. Make sure you follow all the tips I'm about to share with you guys in this video. And if you have a friend that is planning or contemplating, going through a divorce, please share my video with such person. Yes. And like I've said in my previous videos, all the information I'll be sharing in my web series of videos on my channel will be to inform, to educate, to entertain, to enlighten that one person out there. They are not to be construed as a legal advice whatsoever. Viewers shouldn't act upon any videos in my web series without having to consult with a legal practitioner or a professional, as the case may be. That being said, let's get into it. Yes. You know that a divorce is not supposed to be in battle. It can be done amicably. That is, parties can sit on a round table and have this issue sorted out. The issue of custody, the matrimonial property, the education of the children, their traveling expenses, their maintenance, and what have you. Parties cannot, by agreement in Nigeria, dissolve their marriage. It is only by a decree of dissolution by court of competent jurisdiction that a marriage can be dissolved in Nigeria. Parties can actually agree as to the ground upon which they want their marriage to be dissolved. Yes, because court is not really interested in what you have against your spouse. The court is interested in whatever that will serve the best interest of the children, if there are children in the marriage. Yes. However, the process of marriage, the process of divorce is not a tea party. So I don't want you to let down your guard under the guise of, it can be done amicably. You might want to be civil about it. The other party may not want to be civil about it. So you really want to be at your guard. So that's why I'm going to share the tips, those things that you must do before you file for that divorce in Nigeria. Yes, this is where when I'm saying you have to be, at your guard, I mean, this is a situation where you really have to know your spouse. Because I've seen clients walk up to me and say to me, sometimes you propose things to them. Okay, let's propose this to your husband. Some people will tell you, he won't agree. Some people will tell you, don't worry, she will agree. Propose that, she will allow that. Some people will come to you totally lost. They don't know what to expect from their spouse. If you're in that kind of a marriage, you really want to be, smart about everything you do. You really want to let go of sentiment, or what you have been through in the marriage, or what you have suffered in the marriage. You really have to let go of your heart and use your head this time around. Okay, and your marriage. Yes, like I've always said to my clients, you don't give a vibe in your marriage that you're tired. I know it is very difficult. Sometimes some of us don't know how to hide our feelings. But when you are at that stage in your marriage where you are very tired and you are sure that divorce is inevitable, please try as much as you can, be smart about it. Don't give that vibe at all. You really have to know your husband. You have to think through all the steps you're going to take from the day you get tired of that marriage. You have to start thinking through all the steps that you're going to be taking, or the decision that you're going to be taking. Yes, before you file for a divorce in Nigeria, first and foremost, you have to get a place to live. Yes, for the love of Christ, don't just move out of your matrimonial home without having a place to live, especially for those that would want to apply for a full custody of their children or a shared custody of their children. Like I've said, the court is not interested in what you have been through in your marriage. The court is not interested in what you have suffered in the marriage. Yes, the court is interested in what would serve the best interest of the children. The court will prioritize the interest of the children way above your own interest. So if you have all of this in mind, you won't have a place to stay in, because no court will grant you a custody of your children without you having a place to stay. Yeah, granted, if you can, of course, the court can grant you a custody or full custody of your children or shared custody of your children if you're staying with your parents. But you can, from staying with a colleague or a friend, ask for the custody of your children. So before you move out of your matrimonial home, please get a place. Get a place to stay, because no court will give you a custody of your children if you don't have a place to stay. It is very essential for you to have a place that you are staying. You can't just move out of your matrimonial home. Secondly, start saving. There's a need for you to have and create an honest budget, even while you are still staying with your spouse. You really need to start saving as much as you can. Even if the monies will have start coming from your spouse, save as much as you can. Have your own private account where you are saving, and I know you're thinking right now that what about maintenance? Yes, of course you can ask for maintenance. It depends on who is more buoyant. There is no law that says, it's the wife that must pay, it's the husband that must pay the school fee of the children, it's the husband that must pay maintenance. It depends. If you're more buoyant than your husband, no court would enforce your husband to pay the children's school fee that he cannot really afford. So it depends. So you have to start saving. If you're thinking of moving out of your matrimonial home, have savings. Even if you're going to get it from your spouse one way or the other, just ensure that your savings, you have an honest budget. Start taking care of yourself, even in your husband's house or even in your wife's. I don't know, that one is not coming out well, but whichever way, because there is no law that says it's a man that must be everything. So just start saving as a spouse, and if you are considering divorce, start saving in any way that you can. Save, get a job. Like I've said, if you are thinking of asking for the full custody or shared custody of your children, no court would give you custody of your children if you don't have savings, if you don't have a job, or you don't have where you're staying. The court, like I said, I will keep on saying this, the court is not interested in what you have been through. The court is not interested in the sentiment. The court will prioritize the interests of the children way above your own interests. So in whatever you do, if you're planning to go through a divorce, you have to have all of these things in place. Get a job, have a place you're staying, create an honest budget, have a savings, protect your privacy. That's number 4. You have to change all your password to all your social media accounts, your phone, your laptop, your desktop, your safe. You really have to, if you're thinking of going through a divorce, for whatever that is worth, change all your password. I can't tell you how many clients have been disappointed to find out that their spouse has been spying on them to know who they are calling, who they are talking to, who they are messaging. So you don't want to be disappointed, even if your password is as long as a sentence. You really still have to change your password for whatever that is worth. Don't be disappointed. Your spouse might be spying on you. You never can tell. People are funny. So you don't want to, let down your guard. Change your password. Gather all important documents. That's number 5. I don't know, number 5 or 4. Just gather all important documents, and you have to really also document on all unreasonable behavior of your spouse that might be of help in case the going gets tough. Yes, like I've said, it can be settled amicably, but sometimes the going might get tough. You really have to know what you're doing. Gather all important documents that might help your case in the event that your spouse refuse to be civil about your dissolution. You want to be ready and be equal to the task. Gather all important documents, get, like I've said, put all of your important documents, have a place where you're keeping all your important documents. Don't keep your important documents in your matrimonial home. Have a place where only you can access all these documents. You can take them to your parents' house. You can take a safe. You can buy a safe, and take it. Don't take it to a friend's house. Don't even give. If you're planning to go through a divorce, you might want to be a little bit private with it at the beginning, because you don't know who is who. You might want to go and share with your friend, and your friend would share with a close friend too, and before you know it, it gets to your husband, and everything would turn to a war. So you really want to be private about it. Get a box, get a safe where you're keeping all your important documents that might be of help to you in case you really have to submit to the jurisdiction of the court to dissolve or to make some sort of arrangement as to your children, because some spouse, I've seen some, I don't want to start mentioning husband or wife. Some spouses are so difficult. Sometimes they will tell you, oh, since you want to move out of the house, you should be buoyant enough to pay your children's school fee. Since you want to be stubborn, you're tired of the marriage, yeah, let's see how you're going to do it. You might have that kind of a husband or a wife. So you really want to, that's why I'm saying that save, get a job, do what you have to do to be a little bit buoyant enough to take charge pending when the matter will be in court. This is Nigeria. It doesn't just go like that. You don't get your matter your case gets resolved in court in Nigeria as fast as you want it. Everything depends on the courts, the judge, and so you want to be okay in the interim. So that's what I'm saying. Get a place to stay, gather all your important documents, keep it in a place where only you can access. Also consider the type of marriage that you have. Yes, if it's a customary marriage, you want to know your rights under the customary law. If it's a statutory marriage, you want to know your right under the law. So this is where it is very important for you to consult with a different family lawyer before deciding on who to consider to represent you in your matrimonial proceeding. Yes, you want to know the weakness and the strength of your case. You have to start talking to lawyers, and I brought in lawyer at this stage because I don't want you to start talking to, because most of the time you see people talk to you and go like, oh, you lawyers that put asunder to what God has put together. No, we are not a psychologist, we are not a counselor, we are not pastors, we are not, we are just lawyers. Before you speak to a lawyer on whether you want to file for a divorce, you really have to have decided on what to do. A lawyer will, of course, you won't come to me as a client and I'll be counseling you, unless you are a friend to me and you're very close to me. If you're a client and you're telling me that you want to file for a divorce, you don't expect me to start advising you and telling you why you really have to make your marriage work. So that's why it is very essential for you to speak with a respected family member. Talk to your pastor, talk to your friend, if a trusted friend. I won't really advise you to talk to your friend. Just talk to a family member, talk to your mother, talk to your father, your uncles, call your pastor, listen to what they have to say before calling a lawyer. I'm not going to advise you as a lawyer and start telling you reason why you have to make your marriage work. That is not my job. We all have what we face in our marriages. So if you come to me as a lawyer that you want to file for a petition for dissolution, my job is just for me to ask a few questions to see if there is sufficient ground for filing for the dissolution of that marriage. If there is no sufficient ground, then I will let you know there is no ground for this petition in the first place. Yes, and if you are tired and if you are that, very tired of your marriage, you just want out of your marriage, I would advise you to go on no fault ground. You can go on the ground that you can file on the ground that parties have stayed apart for 2 years. There are other ground in, that you can, hinge your petition on. That is my job as a lawyer. If you're filing for a dissolution of marriage, before you do all of this, or before you file for that dissolution of marriage in Nigeria, you need to do all of these things that I've stated. Talk to your pastor. Before you even start talking, of course, you can talk to lawyers to know the strength and the weakness of your case. As you plan for all of this dissolution, you can talk to a friend, you can talk to a lawyer that to know your rights under the law, as the case may be. But before you brief a lawyer or you ask a lawyer to represent you in your dissolution of marriage, you really have to speak to all of these people: your pastor, your uncle, your father, your mother, your trusted friend. I will say that, at this point, but I won't advise you to talk to your friend. But there are some people, you have friends, trusted friends, people that you can confide in. Please talk to them, listen to what they have to say to you. With the love of Christ, listen to what they have to say to you before you file for that divorce, before you call that lawyer to, before you brief that, before you ask the lawyer, engage a lawyer. Yeah, that's the word. Before you engage a lawyer, you can ask, of course, you can call me as a lawyer to ask me a few questions. Oh, I'm planning to do this. What do you think? Yes, I can give you that for free. But before you properly engage me, not the one putting asunder to what God has put together. You have decided on what to do. You just come to us to put whatever you've decided to put it, on paper. That's what we do. We don't put asunder. We're just doing what you have decided to do, helping you to file. We do paperwork. That's the work. Paperwork of whatever that you have decided to do. So that's what we do. We are not the one putting asunder. So it is not in our place to advise you. So talk to your pastor and create, like I've said, get a job, get a place to stay, create an honest budget, protect your privacy, and have your file where you put all your important documents. I'm so sorry, I'm using my phone, so my husband is trying to call me, so I'm gonna cut it. So guys, please so sorry. So just listen to what they have to say. And if you are the type that is claiming maintenance or even division of your matrimonial property, you will need evidence of your salary slip, bank statements, list of properties like your matrimonial properties, and so on. Those are the things you need if you are claiming maintenance. If you can make photocopy of all of these things, you will be good to go. Keep all photocopies of all these things if you can access them: the salary slip, the bank statements, your matrimonial property. Like I said, sometimes the situation will require whether or not you stay and compile evidence in your matrimonial home. It depends. We all have different situations. So if you are that type that your life is threatened in whatever form, please, the first and foremost things that you need to do is to move out of that matrimonial home. Don't ever think, oh, I've not gotten enough evidence against this man, I have to stay. Don't stay, please. If your life is at stake, move out as quick as you can. You can from outside do what you have to do, God help you. But if you are such that your life is not threatened in any way, and you can still stay back and get all these things, please stay back and get what you have to get. Stay back and have savings, stay back and get a job, stay back and get a place to stay. Just stay back and do what you have to do. Prioritize your safety. Don't ever stay back. I'm not saying do what you have to do because you really want to wash your dirty linen outside, because I always tell people you don't need to wash your dirty linen outside. You can agree as to these things. Both parties can be matured about it. It depends. Other party might not want to be. So that's why you really have to safeguard your, so you have to, have your sword and your shield. If I'm saying having a sword and a shield, I mean, you know what to respect and you know what to give out. Meaning you know what to You know what you expect from your spouse. Sometimes what me with a sword, meaning this is me, this is my husband, you know, this is what I want, and this is what he's going to say. You know what you expect from him, because you have done your own work, you know. But I really don't like some of my clients come and they are lost outrightly. Your life is not being threatened because of your emotion, because of sentiments. You pack your stuff because you're annoyed, because you're angry. Sometimes you really think through every step you're about to take. If it's gonna take you to lock yourself in a room and sit on the bed, cry your eyes out, and think, don't just move out. Don't just move out unless your life is being threatened. Don't just move out. And if your life is threatened in whatever way, please and please move out first and foremost. Forget all the trying to compile documents. Forget trying to have evidence of his unreasonable behavior. Just move out as fast as you can. Yes. So if you are new here, please subscribe to my channel. This is new. Subscribe to my channel if you have a friend that is considering going through a divorce or having a I don't know what to say, but if you have a friend that is having a kind of a threatened marriage, or you know that this person, if care is not taken, she's or he's gonna move out of his or matrimonial home, share my video with such person. Subscribe to my channel, click on the notification button. With that, you get to be notified whenever I upload my videos. Yes, and that being said, I'll see you in my next